A massive economic transformation is quietly reshaping American industry, and almost no one is talking about it. Products we've always believed were American staples, like Heinz ketchup and Ford trucks, are now being made somewhere else. Why? Crushing tariffs, soaring energy costs, and rising political risks are driving companies away. Their new destination, Canada, with its lower costs, stable environment, and booming manufacturing sector. This isn't a trickle, it's a wave, fundamentally realigning North American manufacturing for generations. Let's peel back the labels and uncover the real story behind 10 iconic products now made in Canada. Take a can of Coca-Cola, an American icon, right? But in 2025, that can likely started its life in Brampton, Ontario. The reason: tariffs. A 50% tariff on imported aluminum made US can production prohibitively expensive. Canada, meanwhile, offered cheap hydroelectric power and no such tariffs, making it the obvious choice for manufacturers. Canadian plants also provide access to global markets through free trade agreements, giving companies like Coca-Cola a huge export advantage. The result? Billions of cans now come from Canada, not the US. That all-American beverage is now housed in a container shaped by Canadian policy. The shift in Coke can production is a perfect example of how tariffs and energy costs are redrawing the map of North American manufacturing. Next time you crack open a Coke, remember, its journey likely started north of the border. One can at a time, the manufacturing landscape is changing. The Ford Super Duty truck, once the ultimate symbol of American manufacturing, now rolls off the line in Ontario, Canada. Why the move? Tariffs on steel and aluminum made US production unsustainable for heavy-duty vehicles. Canada offered tariff-free materials, financial incentives, and a stable environment, making it the new hub for Ford's flagship trucks and next-gen EVs. This isn't just a factory move, it's a seismic shift in where American icons are built. Even the most established US brands aren't immune to global economic pressures. The Super Duty is still a beast on the road, but its birthplace now tells a new story. American industry is being redefined, sometimes just across the border. The Ford badge remains, but the manufacturing muscle is Canadian. The future of Made in America is more complicated than ever. Tesla, the face of American innovation, now builds its revolutionary 4,680 battery cells in Quebec, not California or Texas. Why? Quebec's cheap, clean hydroelectric power and abundant critical minerals like lithium and nickel. Battery production is energy-intensive, and Canada's resources give Tesla a massive cost and sustainability edge. By producing batteries in Quebec, Tesla shortens its supply chain and insulates itself from global disruptions. The company's brain may be in California, but the heart of its next-gen vehicles beats in Canada. Even the most innovative American companies are drawn north by energy and resource advantages. The future of green tech manufacturing is up for grabs, and Canada is winning key battles. The EV revolution's power source is now Canadian. General Motors, a Detroit legend, is building the backbone of its electric future in Quebec. Key components for GM's EVs, like cathode materials and structural frames, are now made in Bécancour, not Michigan. Quebec's mineral resources and cheap hydropower make it the logical choice for battery and frame production. This move insulates GM from volatile global markets and lowers its carbon footprint. Canadian plants offer efficiency, cost savings, and supply chain security. The skeleton and power source of GM's electric vehicles are increasingly Canadian, even if final assembly happens in the US. It's a strategic shift. GM's electric future is being built north of the border. The new auto heartland is in Quebec. Heinz ketchup, an American classic, now comes mostly from Ontario, not the US. After closing its Canadian plant in 2014, Heinz reversed course and reopened in Leamington, Ontario, which now produces over 60% of its North American ketchup. Why? Shifting trade policies, pandemic supply chain shocks, and Canada's strong agricultural sector made Ontario the smart choice. The Canadian government welcomed Heinz back with open arms and incentives. The ketchup in your fridge is more likely from Canada than anywhere in the US. Corporate loyalty follows the bottom line, not the flag. The all-American condiment is now a product of Canadian agriculture and industry. Quietly, the dinner table has changed. Campbell Soup, a staple of American comfort, is now largely produced in Etobicoke, Ontario. Canada's stable energy prices and reliable agriculture make it ideal for large-scale food processing. The Etobicoke plant is a high-tech hub, producing millions of cans for both US and Canadian markets. Centralizing production in Canada means better efficiency, lower costs, and more responsive supply chains. The familiar red and white can in your pantry is now a product of Canadian industry. Campbell's is still a comfort food, but its journey to your kitchen starts near Toronto. Canada is quietly becoming North America's food production capital. American aerospace giants like Boeing and Lockheed Martin now rely on Canadian-made parts for their jets and rockets. Montreal and Toronto have become essential hubs for complex components, wings, landing gear, and flight control systems. Canada's skilled workforce and government investment make it a leader in aerospace innovation. Tariffs and lower production costs give Canadian manufacturers a crucial edge. The DNA of American air power is increasingly international. The wings and gear that keep planes flying often start in Canadian factories. Even the most high-stakes industries are now cross-border collaborations. The Rust Belt, once the heart of US auto parts manufacturing, is losing ground to southern Ontario. Canadian factories now supply transmissions, frames, and more for American cars. Decades of offshoring and tariffs have weakened the US supply base, while Canadian firms have invested in automation and efficiency. Companies like Magna and Linamar are now global powerhouses, supported by stable costs and government policies. The supply lines that once ran from Ohio to Detroit now run from Toronto to Detroit. This isn't just a few factories moving, it's a fundamental realignment. The Rust Belt's crown is slipping, and its new heir is across the border. The North American auto ecosystem is being redrawn. Everyday household goods, blenders, toasters, non-stick pans, are now increasingly made in Canada, not the US or Asia. American brands haven't changed, but their factories have moved north for supply chain simplicity and reliability. The pandemic exposed the risks of distant supply chains. Canada offers proximity, stability, and a skilled workforce. Manufacturing in Canada means faster shipping, lower costs, and more nimble responses to demand. The era of cheapest is best is giving way to resilience is best. Canada is now the most reliable manufacturing partner for US consumer goods. Your morning toast might just be a product of this new reality. Walmart's private label brands, Great Value Equate mainstays, are now often made in Canada, not the US. Walmart contracts with Canadian manufacturers for lower costs, stable supply, and proximity to US distribution centers. Canadian factories produce everything from frozen foods to paper towels for Walmart's shelves. The Made in America image is fading, replaced by quiet cross-border integration. Shoppers who want to buy American may be filling their carts with Canadian-made goods without realizing it. The label on the package doesn't always tell the real story. Walmart's private labels are a prime example of the new North American manufacturing reality. From soda cans to trucks and batteries, the Made in America label is more complex than ever. This isn't about decline, it's about economic reality and strategic decisions reshaping our continent. The manufacturing shift to Canada raises big questions about jobs, competition, and what Made in America really means. The story is still unfolding, and the economic landscape will keep evolving. Understanding these shifts is the first step to navigating the future. Stay tuned as we keep unpacking the real stories behind the headlines.